So imagine Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper, but
Time after time.
but there's like 5 rap verses.
If you're lost, then you look, then you will find me. Bienvenidos. For you English viewers, that's welcome. Welcome to the Joystick Show.
Hello.
Episode 193.
Hello.
Speaking of three of us. 3 amigos,
Correct.
musketeers.
Tres.
3 leches.
Coincidence?
I think not.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the Joystick Show. It's episode 193. We got a fun-filled one for you today. Joey is still off. He's still pipping.
So can we make it up that like Joey is Pippin, but like in Indonesia or something? Can we like?
Oh, like he's on he's on a nationwide tour.
He's on like a world like missionary trip. or
Okay,
something
yeah,
like
but he's
that,
playing Pippin.
Yeah, but he's
So, like,
exactly.
To bring out the spirits of people all around.
Yeah,
the world.
hospital, starving children in
Yes,
Africa.
exactly.
Instead of actually feeding them or giving them water, he's playing Pippin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
And here's images of that.
Yeah.
I finally got the Pippin. If you guys want to know what we're talking about right there,
There's a list.
you can go ahead and like this episode if you're feeling like it, and you can go ahead and subscribe to help the boys out. It'd be real nice of you. Needless to say, this one's going to be a good one. I'm going to kick it off right now and say that I watched a bunch of movies this week.
Bobby, the movie watcher.
And I am the movie watcher. And I told myself that I was like, you're only going to talk about one. So pick a good one.
Oh.
But I'm immediately canceling out on it. If you know my Jam and the Yam shit, I can't just pick one anything.
Bobby watched Boss Baby 2 and he's
I
like, this
did.
cannot wait.
Yes, I watched.
There must be a second movie added to the
greatest
roster.
animated film ever made.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about which one I wanted to talk about first. So how this is going to work is I'm going to talk about one of them. We're going to move it on to something else. And then later on, we'll talk about the other one. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But what I'll say right now is the one that I really want to tell you guys about is the second one. Just why I'm getting this one out of the way.
Oh, so it's not important.
It's not that it's not important.
All right, everyone at home, tune out.
Shut the fuck up. Because there's a second reason I decided to pick this one first, and it's because it's brand new, it's fresh, it's in theaters. In fact, I went to the movies yesterday to go watch it.
Oh.
And I want to talk a little bit about it. So I went to go watch Challengers.
Oh, the meme movie.
Yes.
The movie with all the memes.
Yes, the Zendaya tennis movie.
The one of many infamous polygamy movie.
Yeah, I mean it's look now that I've watched it. No, that's kind of what it's known for.
Yeah.
For that whole like viral trailer where Zendaya is like on the bed with the 2 other main characters and they like kiss or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But after watching the movie, it's less of a polygamy thing and more of a love triangle.
Oh yeah,
so
of
to
course.
speak.
It's not...
But needless to say, the first thing I'm going to mention right off the bat is I'm not really going to be spoiling much, so I'm not going to throw the spoiler alert. I figured the movie's new enough. If you want to go check it out, go give it a watch.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say is that it was a very interesting movie. First off, it's a good movie. It's a well-made.
The way you
movie.
said interesting, I was like, oh.
No, yeah, it's a little interesting. I guess it's hard to really organize everything that I want to say, so I'm just gonna say it however I feel like it right off the bat. Story. The story is told in a very interesting way where it's all non-linear. Like the main chunk of the story is supposed to be during this challenger match between 2 tennis players who were once partners turned rivals and now bitter enemies and shit like that.
Interesting.
But basically how the movie works...
Like reverse Blades of Glory.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
But exactly, actually. But basically how it works is, the movie starts at this challengers match, and then it starts cutting to different points in their friendship and relationship over the course of like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be like 18 years ago, and then we watch a little bit, and then it goes back to the match, and then it's 5 years ago, and it's last night, shit like that. And at first I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it, but I can happily say they did that really, really well. In fact, I think it boosts the story a lot, so props to them, because that doesn't always work out.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like that. The acting is phenomenal. Like, absolutely fantastic. To be fair, I hadn't really seen Zendaya in anything... It's not to say that she's, like, not a good actress, because she is, but I hadn't really seen her in anything that wasn't, like, Spider-Man or Dune, really, to be honest. But her role in this movie is absolutely great. It's great in that you hate her character. She is so unlikable the whole way through, at least in my opinion. but that's why she's such a great actress. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, she just harnesses that character so amazingly. Another thing that I really like that the movie does is how it uses the sport of tennis to, drive home the story. Like, sometimes movies will do that where they'll do like a rom-com based on baseball, like Fever Pitch or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, like the idea, or rather the device of tennis is absolutely integral to the story. Like, if you take the tennis away, it makes this movie so much worse. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
It's very important to the story, so much so it gets referenced a couple times in the movie where characters are like, no, tennis is this, tennis is that. Like, it has other meanings than just the game, so to speak.
Oh, right? Interesting.
And then cinematography-wise, they did some pretty cool stuff, especially with the tennis matches. They do some kind of cool effects work to make it feel like you're watching a legitimate tennis match. They do like this one cool shot at the end of the movie where it's like, I don't really know how they did it, but it's basically meant to be like a POV shot of the tennis ball being hit back and forth, so it's spinning around and going up and down like very sporadically and shit. But it was really well done. It was cool. But it wouldn't be a movie if I didn't have cons. So The only two cons that I really have to say, the score is a little weird. It's not necessarily a bad score. It's pretty interesting in that it's like non-traditional. It's very like housey. Like, whenever big important moments will happen, it'll be to like almost like John Wick fight music. It's like
almost like Hotline Miami
kinda, but
like not as intense.
Not. I wouldn't say the intensity part. It's just more bassy. It's like like shit like that.
Interesting.
That's how I describe it. And it works sometimes, but then other times it just feels weirdly placed. And I get what they're trying to do, because there'll be a part where two characters are having an argument, and they'll play that like heavy pumping music behind it. And I get what they're trying to do in like kinda what's the word? Like, show that it's similar to the tennis matches, the same way they converse.
It's like intensity. Exactly, I get that. I get what they're going for.
But there's literally moments where like the mix is a little off, and I can't even hear what some people are saying because they're arguing over this heavy techno music, and I'm like, so for that reason,
I feel that.
I'll dock it a little bit.
I feel like other movies have done that, and it's annoyed me. Or like the music is just like overriding the content. I'm like, why would they play both of these at the same time?
And sometimes it's a good decision, but in this case, it just didn't feel like it for my liking. And the last con that I'll give it before we move on is I don't know how much I like the ending of the film. Again, no spoilers, I won't get specific into the detail, but like I mentioned before, the movie is pretty centered around this match that starts at the beginning of the movie and gets, referenced back to throughout the movie. And at the end of the film, we get to see how the match ends. We get to see who the winner is of the two main characters that we're following.
Oh, that's that's...
But I'm not gonna lie, at some point right before the end, I would have been way more happy. I think I would have preferred the movie not to show it. Like, honestly, at that point, it doesn't really matter, if that makes sense. So the ending ends with this interesting point where, like, we see who wins, but it doesn't really matter.
So it's like, why do we go through all of that kind of feeling?
Kinda, but I'm gonna be honest and say that this is more of a me thing and not like a genuine thing. So I know that more people are gonna look at it and enjoy it, and that's fine. But this is just more a personal thing for me. Like, I just didn't like how it was ended that way. I would have preferred it to be a little bit more ambiguous and kind of just let us kind of theorize.
I don't think they were gonna No Country for Old Men it though.
No, I know. Long story short, I thought it was a very good movie. I don't know if I would go out of my way to watch it personally, but I'm glad my girlfriend invited me out to go see it, and I would give it a 9 out of 10.
Oh, that's very high.
It is a very, very good movie, very well made, so shout-outs. Big shout-outs to all the actors in that movie, but especially Zendaya. She definitely surprised me the most. Great film, you should definitely check it out. Yeah, especially if you like tennis. I didn't give a shit about tennis before this movie, and maybe I still don't give a shit about tennis, but I do want to watch a match.
And it's weird, there's other... Tennis is in a good amount of movies.
Oh!
Players are often playing tennis. There's like... there's like the Steve Carell, Emma Stone one.
There's also like, movies. There's that whole joke that the other Spider-Man, Mary Jane actresses are in fucking tennis movies.
Yeah.
Kristen Dunst was in one, and Emma Stone.
Yeah, Emma Stone was in
one. But fucking... The last thing I wanted to mention was just the theater of people we went to go see it with. We went to Cinemark. Bought the tickets less than 24 hours before the movie, and we were the only 2 seats available. The only 2 seats, or rather, what I'm saying is the whole movie theater was available, so it didn't look like anyone else was gonna go.
Oh.
And then we showed up, and it was full. It was so full. So we were like, okay, people wanted to come for a Friday night movie. I did not know we were going to see this movie with a room of 16-year-olds. Because these people are adults. But, like, and granted, part of the movie is, like, I wouldn't really say erotic because it's not that crazy, but there are like sex scenes and like, you know, like very kind of intimate scenes or whatever. But as soon as they come on, the whole theater's like, oh my god, ooh, oh damn, oh no, and literally I look at Mildred and she's like, can these people shut the fuck up? And I'm like, word, it's like they've never seen a movie. But we're across the line for me where I was like, these people are just idiots at this point. Like, obviously, if you watch tennis players, when they hit at intense speeds, they're gonna groan, you know?
That's kind of the
thing.
That's part
and it got
of
to the point where every time the guy'd be like, like people would be like, and I'm like, you shut the fuck up. Like, there's nothing sexual about it. He's just hitting the ball as hard as he can.
Sports movies are just good. No,
but whatever. Shout outs to Challengers 9 out of 10. Definitely
movies.
watch it by yourself. Don't watch it with theater 16-year-olds. But that's my take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like I said, we'll get to movie number 2 later.
Correct.
Cool.
Anyone can take over now.
Cool.
Literally in your hands.
You know I like to leave a 10-second gap of awkwardness.
Oh, I hate that
before.
shit.
Yeah,
It's the worst one
of course.
I sit there and I'm like, fuck.
It'd be so much easier if we just transitioned straight into it.
Yeah,
Because you
it
did
would.
provide me a perfect segue about sports.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Look at
And
that.
because I do want to talk about sports.
Mhm.
Because tennis is not a sport I watch.
I thought you were going to say tennis is not a sport. And I was going to agree with you.
Oh, yeah, it's a yeah. No, we can't
say that.
We cannot hold that opinion. However, what I can bring up is the beautiful world of hockey. Not really, but I do want to shout out the Rangers for winning.
Yeah, word, that was hype.
I wish we had a cutaway, like a second desk for me to go to. That's just like a sports
Dylan Sports
a
Desk?
sports desk.
Well, stay tuned,
And
because
there's
we're
screen.
making some changes to the Joystick Show pretty soon.
And
And
it's
that
just
sounds
me.
like a fantastic
I have like a
idea.
clipboard or something for no reason, and I'm
We're
just
going
like,
to do one of those pattern backgrounds.
because I am
you know?
providing a recap at this point
Mhm.
about. I think that the Rangers have a better chance of the Knicks of winning their respective championship,
Okay.
and I don't think
I would
I
agree.
don't think that that's crazy to say.
No, I don't think so either.
Especially that the Knicks have to win a Game 7, then beat the Celtics,
Mhm.
and then win the actual NBA final.
Yeah,
And I don't think that they would survive that. However, the sports recap is over in terms of New York teams,
Mhm.
and I say that because I want to talk about baseball. But the issue with baseball is that my team is the Mets. The Mets are already bad.
Yeah.
It's already we're not even into June yet. Usually the Mets are good until like July or August, and then they
I
suck.
feel like that's part of the Mets organization. They're like, how can we outdo our badness this year? You know?
And now they're just bad in May, which is never the case.
Yeah.
Usually we wait until like the middle or end of summer before being terrible. So now we have to focus on another team, and that is the team of the Pittsburgh Pirates,
Okay, art.
which you might think the most team.
Yeah.
Because like the Steelers are like super like impactful in terms of like their presence in the NFL. They're like one of the most popular teams
Yeah.
Right.
in the NFL. Pirates are not. Pirates are like bottom of the barrel. No one goes to the
Gotcha.
games. Beautiful stadium, absolutely overlooking the water and everything like that.
Oh, wow.
But they had the first overall pick last year, and they used that last year to draft a rookie phenom by the name of Paul Skeens.
Got you.
Skenes. He throws 104 miles an hour.
Jesus.
He found out if he threw 99 miles an hour, he can make the ball break 2 feet in the other direction at will.
What the fuck?
So he will just throw like a sinker, and then it'll just be like, oh, it's over there now. And so you can't hit it. And then if he wants, he can throw 103, even if he throws it right down the middle. In his second ever game, he threw a no-hitter, and then his arm got tired in the 6th inning, and then they had to take him out of the game while throwing a no-hitter. Because they don't want to like wreck his arm.
Yeah.
And also he was like, oh,
Yeah.
So, guy's an absolute beast.
Can.
Kind of relevant because he's dating Livvy Dunne,
Yeah.
who's gymnastics, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much.
Yeah,
I don't. Again, not a real sport. Ha, guys.
She's a college gymnast. That's
Yes.
all I know. And the internet is a lot.
Yeah, LSU.
Yes.
And then Paul also
Mm-hmm.
graduated from LSU. Was the #1 player in college,
Oh.
and now he's going to be the #1 pitcher in the MLB. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be great when they trade him in 4 years to a
The
team that
Mets.
is not the Mets.
Gotcha.
I wish. But yeah, guy looks absolutely jacked for a 21-year-old. You know, I feel like I don't know what they're doing, but you know, athletes are athleting. You know,
They be athleting, dog.
they be athleting
All day, all night.
all day,
Push-ups.
all night. Push-ups. I don't think it's. I think it's like mental. I think everyone's out here doing squats.
Mental, they're just thinking about getting ripped.
Yeah. I mean, baseball. It's like all like lower, like it's like thighs and ass.
Yeah.
You know, that's what baseball's about.
That's why you
Just
watch
leg
it.
push-ups.
That's why we're watching.
Yeah.
And I would like to give a final shout out, since we are on YouTube, to Mr. Trevor May, who has been making incredible content as a now retired baseball
I was about to say, okay.
He's
Not playing baseball anymore.
he's officially retired.
Full-time Twitch streamer.
And he's he does like things you'd never expect. He does like a Q&A, and he's like, you know,
Gotcha.
unveil the curtain of the MLB. And he's doing a pretty good job of it.
Cool.
Even though it's like he does like the YouTuber cuts, and it's super
Yeah.
weird where you're like zoom in, and you're like, you're a baseball player. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Like, imagine if like fucking any of like the Hispanic players, like you just saw fucking David Ortiz, just hey
Fucking LeBron James, and today is your daily dose of internet. Be amazing, bro.
Yeah, LeBron as like a 55-year-old man Twitch streaming
Oh yeah, fuck
is the most beautiful thought
Like,
that I just had in my head. Like he's like, yo, what is this?
Boggers, man.
How do I play? What? And he's like trying to learn the game.
God. It's funny, the way that I segued for you with the sports, you just segued for me with the Livvy Dunne stuff, because...
Oh, I didn't talk about that for 3 minutes. Oh no, that's the same.
It's because the other day, you know how like there's this whole vocabulary with internet slang now where people are talking about Baby Gronk and Livvy Dunne Yat and the Rizzler and all this stuff. So I decided I had enough is enough. I was gonna decode some of this language. So I went ahead and I asked my 11-year-old students if they could give me the definitions for some of these words. So skibbity, you guys know what skibbity is?
No.
I'm here to teach you. You know what skibbity is?
Skibbity is like, no.
Skibbity is basically like a Gary's mod.
Yeah, the toilet. The toilet, yeah.
Yeah, which I knew that, but apparently like there's lore behind it, and there's like fucking 400 episodes made of this shit, and he's like an alien, and like I don't know.
That's too much.
It's too much.
That's too much, man. It was funnier when it was like the original video and then using it as slang.
Yeah. And then I asked them what phantom tax is.
Oh, I know that one.
Can you explain that one to me?
It's like Kai Cenat, right? It's like him related.
Yeah, I think that's like his friend.
Yeah, it's his friend, and his friend would come over.
That's like a fat kid tax.
A fat kid tax?
Yeah, like, you know, like when if you get fries, like people take your fries.
Okay, because that's how it was described to me. I had a kid.
Like a kid's entitled.
One of my students
entitled to something.
Came up to me and I was like, "What does phantom tax mean?" He's like, "Phantom tax, bro. That's like," and he said the N-word a couple times. Granted, he's an 11-year-old student. He's allowed to. But he was like, "No," and I'm gonna say the word "homie" here. But he's like, "That's when your homie got fries, right? You're like, I'm gonna steal my homie's fries right now. That's phantom tax." And I'm
like, "I'm your homie."
Got you, I guess.
Yeah.
And also watch your language.
It's like when you feel entitled to something. It's like, yo, you gotta share some of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't need help with Gat. I know that one. Don't need to bring that up with children.
Yeah.
I'm all caught up on that. I think I know the Rizzler. I'm just gonna guess that's somebody who's good at rizzing up people.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yes.
I mean, you already know what Riz means. So,
So
you already got that one down.
And I actually didn't know what like Baby Gronk was. I really just thought that was like it was like a joke about Gronk. But apparently, no, you know.
It's a child.
Yeah, it's like a kid who's like.
He went viral.
He went viral for being like a child football star, but he has like a mullet and they call him Baby Gronk.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Everybody's like, Baby Gronk's gonna marry Livvy Dunne, but this kid is like literally 10, So I don't know. Shout out to the internet. I'm just really happy that I was able to get this stuff defined for me and from the source,
It became true.
From the creators of some of this amazing lexicon.
Sheesh.
But shout outs. Imagine if I told you we haven't been recording a single second of that. Because we haven't been. Sound speed. And now we're back, baby.
Crazy.
It's how it be sometimes, but it's cool. Welcome back. Livvy Dunne. You saw it. It just didn't sound good, and that's fine. So Livvy Dunne, Baby Gronk, The tennis movie.
I thought you were going to... Oh, you're just recapping.
And the baseball guy.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a...
This is like...
22 minutes.
This is like... we see like the... Like we... Because of the malfunction, we need to add all of the people we've listed in this episode to the joystick wall of shame.
Yeah.
You know?
Sorry,
which is the thing.
And
Paul
Paul
Skeen.
Skeen and fucking
Paul Skibbity.
Skibbity. and my 11
And all the
students.
Rizzlers.
Zendaya tags.
Oh, fucking hell.
Zendaya.
It'd be like that. though.
Zendaya Skibbity.
Yeah.
We back. What you up to, Jerry?
Yeah, Jerry's got...
me,
Yo,
like-
Jerry has a segment. Jerry has a segment for us guys.
Calm down.
Me, I mean, I don't know. I did some different stuff today. I went to a new gym.
Jerry worked out.
That's by me. Yeah.
Yeah, Jerry,
I
new
woke
gym
up
day
early
Jesus,
today.
bro.
Yeah. There was like no people there, which was great.
Big gym
You know, like
Zeus.
I'm just walking around, like kind of like
What'd
lost.
you do today?
I did chest and triceps. I did a little bit of shoulder too.
Did some bench?
Yes, I
you
did.
bench in these
shoulders,
days?
knees, and
I only put
toes,
35s on each side.
toes.
And this is an Olympic bar, right?
Yeah.
All right, I don't know the math on that.
I don't know the math on that either.
It's 135 minus 20, 115.
Yeah. I did
more
the
of an
45, but I
Ozempic
couldn't
bar
do
kinda
like
guy.
a set or anything. I was
Yeah.
like, I could do one, but
I'm on a new bench program. You might like it actually.
Oh,
It helps you
yeah.
kind of. You have to do it 3 times a week, but you progress pretty.
yeah, I might need to look at your stuff
Yeah.
because
I
I
stole
have
it
no
from
idea what
Jeff
I'm gonna do.
Nippert.
Oh
The
shit! So it's scientific
There you
with
go.
science.
Of course, data proven. Homie reads.
I love how he puts that in each fucking.
Yeah, the scientifically proven best pull day, and I'm like, it's scientifically proven.
I can't argue with it, you know?
Because according to a scientist research study,
It's shit from like the 60s. You're like, what the fuck? This
Bro,
isn't
The
even
fucking
Jeff
nerdiest
Nippert-
jock.
Jeff
man.
Nippert's one of those people that's so easy to make fun of, but God, is that motherfucker helpful, bro. I learned
Yeah.
so much from him. He's like the athlete next guy if he actually knew what the fuck he was talking about.
I like watching him and this guy Will Tennyson.
So
I
Jeff-
started watching him because you started told me
so
about
it was funny you bring this up. Mildred asked me the other day. He was like, "Who do you watch for that?" And I told her if I want to watch a video to actually learn about this shit and
Yeah,
get
Jeff.
And it's like if I want to be entertained and I want some motivation to get into the
Yeah.
gym, Will. It's
Exactly.
either or. When I saw them do that collab a couple months ago, I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, let's go."
I like how they do the collab
Meow.
with the bald guy too. What's his name?
Oh, Dr. Mike.
Mike.
That's Jose's favorite.
That's the Jose guy. He's
Dr.
fucking
Mike
like Jose.
Israel. Love that guy.
What?
hilarious.
Dr. Mike?
Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike's great.
You know Dr. Mike?
He did sports injuries too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So-
People say
yeah.
he loads his shit with ads, but like I have YouTube Premium, so I haven't seen his ads.
This is true.
Ah,
Yeah.
I don't.
I should do that.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, I've just been playing. I don't know if you guys heard of this game. It's the new rave and it's on PS Plus
Oh,
for free.
right
It's
now.
called Animal Well. Yes, it is.
Animal.
Apparently,
I've not heard of this. I
yeah.
don't think,
I was
maybe.
playing today, this morning. And
Is it like an indie game or a big dev? Or
It's one guy apparently.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So super like retro looking, low graphics, but it's really fun. It's like a Metroidvania. So it's like you gotta find the map and find all the things, and you get a lot of instructions and stuff. And yeah, I found like the first I guess area. I guess there's gonna be like 4 areas,
Yeah.
and it's like animal based. So I'm in like the dog area.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and the item there is a disc. It's
Like a
like,
frisbee.
a frisbee.
No,
Oh,
it's,
that's
it-
great.
It's funny that Jerry brought it up because we were talking about it playing Apex earlier, and the
Animal
second he
Well.
saw it, I was like, "Get the fuck out!" Because the day before, I was literally on the PS Plus thing, like, "Oh, I need to find a new game," and the first one there is Animal Well,
Yeah.
and I looked it up, and as soon as I saw like Metroidvania, I was like,
Yeah.
download." But I haven't played it yet, so when you brought it up, I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I gotta get to it."
I found out about it literally at work. Like my manager told me he was like about to beat it, and I was like, he was like, yeah, this game is like good and it's like real cheap and stuff.
Oh shit.
was
No,
like,
yeah,
fuck it.
I'm excited. I love Metroidvanias. They're some of my
Yeah.
favorite types of games. Like I just finished Tunic, which I brought up last week.
Mhm.
By the way, 9 out of 10 game, easily super fun. Go play it. But it's funny because even though it's kind of like played in the style of like Link to the Past, those old top-down Zelda games, it has a lot of Metroidvania elements where you have to find like this to progress the story.
It has,
You
like,
can't
the
get past
unlock
that, so you
things,
find
yeah.
this. So
Mm.
I love that kind of feel.
Yeah.
It's just great. It's great kind of game.
I like not having instructions in the game. It feels good.
Grape.
Yeah.
All right.
It's very grape.
I have something I'm really excited. To
Yeah,
talk
you
about.
have a second movie that
I
is
do.
apparently better than the first one or more interesting.
In my opinion. So I'm gonna start off and say that I don't think this is at all a better made movie than Challengers.
Okay.
But I liked it more.
All right.
Right off the bat, I'm going to ask you guys: have you heard of or have you watched the 2020-2021 film Zola?
No, never even heard of it.
Zola. I have not seen Zola.
Never heard of it.
The name sounds familiar.
Okay.
Does it have people in it?
Yeah.
There are people in it.
Okay.
It's a good call on your part.
Yeah.
So
How
Zola is like I mentioned, a 2020-2021 comedy film that was released by A24.
Okay.
So you already know the vibes there.
Mm.
I was actually debating whether or not I was going to bring up this point at the beginning of my review or at the end. But I think it makes more sense to say it at the beginning so you can see why I really sort of enjoyed this movie, okay?
Okay.
The movie Zola is based on a true story.
All right.
It is adapted, meaning the screenplay is an adapted screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
But whereas most screenplays are adapted from books, short stories, television shows, video games, in some cases other movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
This screenplay is adapted from a slightly more current source. And that is because, yes, this movie, Zola, is completely based off of, I wish I had the right number here, but here, it's right here. It's completely based off of an 148 tweet long Twitter thread that was made by a woman nicknamed Zola, detailing her adventure, so to speak, on a weekend-long trip to Tampa, Florida with a woman she had just met.
Huh.
And it's fucking interesting. It's one of those stories where it's like this, it can't get weirder, right? Like it gets weirder, it gets worse. And it is like 98% of the movie is completely true, like what happened.
Okay.
So, spoiler alert, because this one is going to get spoiled. If you want to go ahead and watch the movie, go ahead and watch it. But Dylan's out already. The movie follows this woman named Zola, and just to make sure that I get it right, she was a Detroit waitress named Azia Zola King, okay? So she's a waitress who moonlights as a stripper.
Zola 101.
Zola 101. Waitress moonlights as a stripper. One day while she's waitressing at the restaurant that she works at, she bumps into this white woman named Stephanie. Stephanie, the best way I could describe this woman is think of like Bad Baby, like super white, ratchet ghetto, like that exactly to the T, like to the max. So that's Stephanie. Stephanie basically kind of acknowledges that she may know Zola from dancing at clubs that she's danced at in the past and whatever, and they basically make a friendship together. 2 days into knowing each other, Stephanie offers Zola the opportunity to take a road trip down to Florida with her boyfriend, and her roommate to make some money dancing at a club where they pay out like lots of money. And like she went one weekend and her friend that went with her made $5,000 in like one night. And obviously it's like one of those things where she needs money, so she goes for it.
Okay.
But the big twist in the movie is you come to find out that Stephanie's roommate is actually her pimp. And Stephanie is actually a prostitute.
Yes.
So she brought Zola down not to dance, but to fuck dudes for money.
Yes.
Halfway through the story, once Zola finds this out, she's obviously like, nah, fuck that shit. Ain't happening. She's going home. But the pimp basically threatens her, and he's like, you're not doing shit. Like, you're my property. Also, shout outs to the pimp played by this guy. It's his name, Coleman Domingo. Fucking fantastic. But the acting in this movie is actually very, very good.
Okay.
But he's really scary in that role. I think part of the scary thing is he has like a regular American accent, but then when he's like actually shown to be like this crazy human trafficking kind of pimp, he turns into like a super deep Nigerian accent. And even Zola's like, where the fuck you from? Like, it's like super off-putting. But long story short, they kind of get into that mess, and Zola finds out that Stephanie is having sex with these super ugly old dudes for like $150 a pop. And as soon as I hear that watching it with Mildred, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. She's selling herself for $150. And even Mildred's like, that's right. Pussy's worth $1,000 at least or some shit. I think they even say that in the movie. So Zola basically kind of like lifts Stephanie's spirits up. And she's like, you should be charging $500 at least. And sure enough, the things start coming in, and she makes like $6,000 in one night. And the pimp is super pleased with it and basically makes Zola like his second in command pimp, so to speak. Like he has like this newfound respect for Zola as a pimp and not as a prostitute.
Okay.
So long story short, I'm not going to spoil like where the movie ends up or what happens. Just know, like I mentioned, it's one of those stories that it just keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier. But it's a really
fun movie to watch. I wouldn't say the events of the movie are fun per se, but what really like makes the movie that much more special for me is how the film is told visually.
Okay.
And that's because, since like I mentioned earlier, the movie's based on a Twitter thread, a lot of the movie's actually displayed in sort of this kind of way that feels like you're watching it through an iPhone, if that makes any sense. Like you're still watching it landscape. It's not like you're watching a portrait movie, so to speak, but you know, whenever there's like scene transitions and we're on to the next scene, it'll be like the iPhone time at the top of the screen with the time written in that font, and it'll have the location and the date, so it makes you feel like you opened your phone and you're there. There's like a scene where Zola's in a really uncomfortable situation, and her like way of like blocking it out mentally is literally, as we're watching the scene, it fades to like a screensaver, like an IMAX screensaver, and then she gets like shocked back into it. And then aside from the technology based stuff, there's also just some really awesome like visuals it's like a weird thing where like the best way I could describe it is 80 to 90% of the movie feels very raw, authentic, like just shooting it as it goes. But then the other 10 to 20% is very artistic. Like we're going to film them in a hall of mirrors to get all these cool angles of them dancing or applying makeup and shit like that. And the other thing that I really liked about it is the storytelling. Like they get really playful with it. There's like a whole part where, this part I will spoil. There's a part where they go to a random house, Zola and Stephanie, because Stephanie is basically agreed to have sex with some dude for a pimp, and she finds out that it's a gangbang. So she doesn't want to do it at first, but then she's like, fuck it, like I'll make the money. So it gets like this, almost like this very tense, uncomfortable part where Stephanie's on her knees and she's literally surrounded by all these guys in boxers. But before anything happens, she looks into the camera and she's like, let me tell you how this bitch got me fucked up. And then the movie rewinds, and instead of us watching Zola the movie, it turns into Stephanie the movie. And it's like the whole event of the movie up until then, but in Stephanie's point of view, and it's so off. She's like, and I'm a Christian woman, so you know I wouldn't have said that shit at all. Like, at all. So it's really fucking funny. It feels like you're watching like a cartoon or
it's like a second movie.
Yeah,
that's funny.
It's a real quick thing, but it fits so perfectly into the story. And like I said, just a really fun movie to watch. A lot of funny shit too. Like it is a comedy after all, but very interesting. Give it a watch. It's also made specifically with the intent for people who are kind of like lacking the like the watchability for long movies, you know. So it's not that long of a movie, and it's paced very, very well, so everything happens really fast, you know. There's the retention rate, you know. Like, it's for people who don't have a lot of retention. I don't know, but long story short,
kind of makes sense for a movie based off Twitter.
I'm gonna go ahead and give Zola an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I think it's just a really fucking funny movie, and I'm really glad I saw it because I'd heard about it before and I'd wanted to watch it, but now that I have, I'm really happy that I did, because I have to put it on the list of some of my favorite movies because it's a good one. It's a good one. So shout outs to Zola and that wacky adventure she was on. Yeah.
Cool.
She's real. She's real.
I actually don't. Okay, so 13 plus 35. It's time for Jam Yam Slam of the Week. You like that shit?
Wait, why 13 plus 35?
Because we started recording here at 13. No, it's not 13 plus 35. It's 13 plus 22, which is
35.
35. It's time for Jam Yam and Slam of the Week.
I think it's just the time that it says on the camera, Bobby.
Yeah. Dylan... My job is hard, man. My job is hard, man. It's a lot of fucking this and that, and some of these and some of those, man.
There's even some dang nabbits, you know.
Jack nabbits.
Yeah, some jack nabbers.
Real quick, before we go into our music recommendations for the week, I'd just like to very much apologize for the lack of audio. That makes me feel like a fucking idiot. But don't worry, because that's not going to happen next episode. In fact, some cool shit is going to happen next episode, so stay tuned for that.
We have some humongous things.
We have
some pending.
Anyway, my jam of the week. I have to thank Jose Barrios, good friend of mine. I don't know if you know this guy. He's me and him used to do this YouTube channel back in the day called Mr. Joystick. It's old time stuff before Team Joystick.
I've seen the videos.
Before your time. He was over the other day. We were hanging out, and he played a song for me called $1 Million Baby. And he was under the impression that I had heard the song already because in Jose's terminology, he said it sounds like a Bobby song. I told him I did not hear the song. Jose played the first 30 seconds of it. Instant jam of the week. So shout out to $1 Million Baby by Teddy Richard.
What if I told you that was
your slam of the week.
No, that song is the number 2 on the chart between Drake's this song and Kendrick's this song.
I believe Tommy Richman. I
think when they came out, it was like right between.
I believe
oh
it,
my bad,
because that song is a fucking banger. I absolutely believe it. Yeah, it's strange. You know about it? Or
I've seen memes about it.
I don't know the official story, but I saw a headline that apparently Brent Faiyaz signed this guy out of opera school. So already pretty interesting. And basically, it's like an old kind of like Memphis beat. Think like 3-6 Project Pat style. But then this guy just fucking comes on and fucking just R&B sings on it.
Oh, that's
He's
interesting.
got some falsetto. He's like, I ain't never ever said. It's fire. It's dope. So shout out to $1 Million Baby.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good song.
I have a very interesting song. I have a band that I think I may have chosen before. I used to describe them as Australian Brockhampton. But essentially...
Is it Ockhampton?
No, it is not. I wish it was. You have, clean vocalist. He sings all the choruses. Then you got 2 Australian boys.
Who rap.
Mm-hmm. And then you got a producer who makes all the beats. Yeah. Actually, no. They sound actually interesting. One kind of has like a Matt Champion, like slick kind of flow.
Gotcha.
And then the other has like Denzel Curry... slow tie,
okay,
kind of like yelly, kind of angry.
Okay.
Almost, I'm a rap real fast and kind of have some innuendos. But yeah, I found out them because they have a Triple J like a version that's on Spotify, which I didn't.
Wow, that's rare.
But I didn't notice. But there are several bands that have 111 like a versions.
Oh, cool.
On Spotify, and then there's even some NPR Tiny Desks underneath
on Spotify,
underneath podcasts.
I was about to say.
It's just not under like actual songs. So this would be their Triple J like a version, "Time After Time" by Cyndi Lauper, done by 111.
All right.
So imagine "Time After Time" by Cyndi Lauper, but
time after time.
But there's like 5 rap verses in it.
If you lost, then you look, then you will find me. Time after time.
Not really, but
okay, but that's what I'm.
You got the gist.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, my song of the week. This is not a fun story behind it, but it's like a feel good rap song by Mac Miller, one of many, right?
Okay.
It's called "The Scoop on Heaven," but for some reason, at the end of this song, in the last like half second, he just goes "fuck you." For some reason, the whole song is like happy, and then at the end, he goes "fuck you," and I'm like, wait, is that part of this song, or was that the beginning of the next song? Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
The next song ends up being like a Beatles song. You're like, I don't remember fucking Let It Be starting like that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. He slipped it in somehow.
I think he just thought it'd be funny.
Fuck you. We all live in the yellow submarine.
It's funny when artists do
Ringo,
that,
why'd you say fuck?
Ringo? Whoa.
You said fucking shit in the mic.
Doing it. When Jerry said it's not a fun story, I thought he was going to tell like a really dark story.
I mean, he did pick Mac Miller, so
I got stabbed the other day, but the
so.
guy in the ambulance was playing this fucking song.
I was like, yo, bro, bump that shit.
Anyway,
yeah.
Nice watch. What the fuck was that? It was so high.
I can't even recreate that.
Something like that. Thanks for watching the Joystick Show. We very much appreciate you. If you watched up until now, then you're a real one for sticking through that loss of audio.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for watching us review a couple movies, talk about some sports, talk about some terminology that are a little above our heads, and a game about animals.
Word.
Dylan, what's your favorite animal noise if you had to pick one?
I would probably pick a snake. Pretty simple.
Those are pretty good. How about you, Jerry?
It's a pretty sick one.
You got any?
I don't know. What sound does like a hippo make?
What is a hip? They're like a.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're like a groany animal.
I don't know. No one survives to tell the tale.
I like frogs. Like ribbit. They're just like real quick.
And the ones in Puerto Rico,
kind of a fire
thing.
Like the coquis,
Yeah.
Pretty good versatility.
Choice,
sorry if we lost you there.
They're tadpoles at some point.
If you still watch past
vibing.
the 5-year-old animal noise conversation, feel free to like this episode. Feel free to subscribe to your boy Team Joystick.
Down below what your favorite
What's your favorite animal noise? Comment the noise, not like the animal. Like we'll decipher.
We will comment the
just
animal.
Do some vowels and shit, and then we'll figure it out. We'll guess. Okay, that sounds like way more fun. Stay tuned next episode of the Joystick Show, where hopefully our fourth friend is here to join us, where we have a full table And hopefully
Barack Obama.
the table, Barack Obama is going to be here, and the table will most likely be different. We might not be around this table anymore. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a whole new adventure, and we can't wait to have you here for it. Until then, I've been Bobby.
I've been Dylan.
I am still Jerry.
He's still Jerry.
He's still Jerry.
And I'm going to go ahead and end this episode off with a little bit of
Still Jerry.
Moo.